Welcome back. In our last episode, we introduced arrays, learned how to create them, and explored some basic methods and loops to work with them. Today, we're diving into advanced array methods: map, filter, and reduce. These methods will make working with arrays even more powerful and efficient. Map, filter, and reduce are methods that allow us to process data in arrays. They're extremely useful when working with larger datasets and can make our code much more readable. Map allows us to transform or change each element in an array. Filter lets us remove elements that don't meet certain criteria. Reduce allows us to combine elements in an array into a single value. So let's look at each one of these examples. Starting with map, this method creates a new array by transforming each element in the original array. Imagine we have an array of numbers and we want to double each one. So we have this array, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With the map, we can write it like this. So we say the doubled array, so doubled. And because what map does, it returns an array, a new array of your data. So it doesn't change this array, it gives you a new array. So we store that into a new variable called doubled, just so we're clear and all on the same page. So we're going to loop over every array, or over every number in the array, so num, and what we're going to do is we're going to apply a method. Now this is a shorthand notation. When it's longer, we need curly braces, all right? We don't need it now because it's a one-liner, but when it becomes longer, you'll need curly braces. Here, we are multiplying the number times 2. So 1 becomes 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. So let's check how it works. And then node index.js. Now see that it works? We have the original array and we have the doubled array. See how map didn't change the original array, but returned a new array of the stuff that we doubled? So just know that that's how it works. It's very important. Let's talk about filter. This method creates a new array containing only the elements that pass a certain test or condition. For example, we could filter out all even numbers from our numbers array, and that is how we do it. Same goes here. Numbers.filter, that is how we call filter. Filter returns a new array, so we don't edit the original array, and we store it into this variable. So we have each number in the array, and we do modulo 2 equals or not equals 0. That is actually a check if each num is odd, not divisible by 2. Only the odd numbers are kept in the new array, odd numbers. We can also use watch. I don't know why I haven't set it up like that, but we should definitely set it up in the next episode. And what watch does is it automatically checks for changes, and then you can just, you don't have to compile it all over and over and over again. But here, what it does is you see we only have the odd numbers, 1, 3, and 5. So that is how that works. That is how filter works. Basically, this has to be true or false. It has to be a Boolean value. So we can check if two numbers are equal. We can check if strings are equal, whatever. It just has to return true or false. This statement here is because we use the not operator, not equal to operator. It implicitly returns a Boolean, which is used by the filter. If it's false, it gets filtered out. If it's true, it's used in there. So that is how it works. Finally, let's cover reduce. This method processes each element in an array and combines them into a single value, like a sum or a product. Let's use reduce to calculate the total of all numbers in our array. Reduce takes a function with two main parameters, an accumulator and the current item, num. Here, we are adding each number to the accumulator, which starts at 0. After going through each element, we end up with the total sum of all numbers in the array. So this is the accumulator, and we add the current number, and this comma, it actually signifies that we start counting at 0. So let's see how it works. What is the total sum of all our numbers? It's 15. And if we calculate that, 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, and we have 15. We can also chain these methods to perform multiple transformations in one line. So here's what's happening step by step. First, map doubles each number, creating a new array consisting of 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. All right, so we have that. Now we filter everything above the number 5. So that leaves us with 6, 8, and 10, right? Now we sum that. So here we have shorthanded accumulator to ACC plus the current number, and we start at 0, and then we have the result. So let's run it and see how it works. Ta-da! That's how it actually works. So it's super nice and super handy to combine all of this into something that you could use. You could use this on larger data sets, on arrays, and calculate stuff really efficiently with not a lot of code. Let's move on to the exercises because I've been talking for way too long. The first one, the second one, and the third one. Now I'll give you time to pause and then we'll go over the answers. All right. The first one is create an array called prices with values, and that's the whole array. I'm not going to name that. Use a map to apply a 10% discount to each price. All right, so we have the array here, the array of prices. Then we have the discounted prices. Basically, it just maps over all of the prices and multiplies it by 0.9 because that's what you get when you subtract 10%. And that's how you get all the discounted prices. So that's where you can use map. All right, the second one is use filter to keep only prices that are above 15 after the discount. So we calculate the high prices, discounted prices, filter, price larger than 15. And remember, we take this array here, right? We just use what we already have. And then we filter everything above 15, and that's what we have left. Using reduce, find the total cost of the remaining items after the discount. So here we take the high prices and we reduce it with the accumulator, ACC, and the current price. We add them starting at 0, and that's where we have it. So let's compile all of this, see if it works. But of course, it'll work. And just look at that. Amazing, right? So if you got all of these, great job. These methods will help you transform, filter, and aggregate data in powerful ways. They're essential for modern JavaScript and TypeScript programming, and it's also following functional programming, which is a whole paradigm on itself. So today we learned about map, filter, and the reduce methods, powerful tools for working with arrays. These methods make your code more concise and easier to read for other people, which is very important in programming. In our next episode, we'll talk about objects, another fundamental data structure in TypeScript. Objects let us group related data, making our programs more organized and expressive. See you next time. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell button, and happy coding.